Well, I'm extremely proud of this group, our team, for what they were able to accomplish, this year, the adversity that they overcame. They're really a great bunch of winners. They won going away this year. They came from behind and won. They won close games to have the opportunity to play in this game. And I just feel really poorly that we didn't finish the game better than we did in the fourth quarter, because we played a heck of a game against a heck of a team. For the first 3 quarters of the game. Congratulate Georgia for the job that they did. But nobody can take the SEC championship away from this team, the Cotton Bowl championship, and I'm extremely proud of everything that this team had to overcome to get to this position, to have an opportunity to win the national championship. We just didn't finish the way we needed to finish.
Thank you, Coach. We will now transition to questions for our student athletes. Please use the raised hand function and we will get to as many questions as possible. Once you are called on, we will unmute your line to ask your question. We will take our first question from Michael Casagrande.
So, Will, you guys took a lead there in the fourth quarter on the wild fumble play, and they got the ball back after that. They drove down the field. What was it like on the field when Georgia was driving to go ahead and lead?
We missed the first part of that.
And who are you asking?
Will, I think.
What he say?
They'll do the players first.
What he say?
Have him ask it again. He got cut off the first part of it.
Yeah. Will, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. You guys took the lead in the fourth quarter. Georgia comes back and drives down the field. What was it like in that possession for you guys defensively when Georgia was on the drive to take the lead?
I mean, it was just what happened.
Well, they basically had 2 drives in the fourth quarter. They made a couple explosive plays in one, which, we don't want to give up explosive plays. We got a pass interference. They hit a long pass on us. It was a free play for them. We jumped off sides. And then when they got the ball the second time, with a 1-point lead and a chance for us to still be in the game, they just ran the ball and we didn't stop them. So that's what it was like to be out there. So, and we still had an opportunity when it was 26-18, when we're going 2 minutes down the field, to score a touchdown and go for 2 and tie the game and have a chance in overtime. And we threw a pick 6. So that's really what happened. I assume you watched the game, but that's really what happened, and that's what it felt like. And that's what it felt like for Will, and that's what it feels like for Bryce, who feel really poorly that they couldn't do better to try to not let that happen.
We'll take our next question from Andrea Adelson.
Hi, yes, this question is for Bryce. How much an effect did it have for you in the offense when Jamison went down and without John as well?
Losing someone like J-Mo is tough, but that's been a theme for us, is overcoming adversity. A lot of guys stepped up in a big moment, and it was guys that we weren't used to. And I'm tremendously proud of how we played offensively, how people stepped up. I'm tremendously proud of how everyone around me played, and it's on me to perform better. People stepped up in big moments when they weren't supposed to, and we had chances, we had opportunities, and at the end of the day, I didn't get the ball into the end zone, and that's on me. I love my guys. I'll forever love my guys. I wouldn't trade my guys for anything, and it's a little tough that I let them down today, but I love those guys, and they stepped up. Adversity's been our thing all year, and I gotta do better with it.
We'll go next to Ryan Hennessy.
This is for Coach Saban. Coach, you had a pretty lengthy conversation with Coach after the win. What did you say to him? And I know you guys have had a relationship for a long time in Kirby and you.
Well, Kirby asked about J-Mo, and I will answer for Bryce. J-Mo was a great player for us all year. He made a lot of explosive plays, and I think anytime you lose players like him and John Mechie, it certainly has some impact on, how you can perform offensively. And, Bryce is a great quarterback. He had a great year. But at the same time, when you play quarterback, players have to play well around you. And we had some guys step up tonight and get some opportunities, and they did some good things. But, I love Kirby. I think Kirby has a lot of respect for us. He did a great job for us for a long time. If we had to lose a national championship, I'd rather lose one to one of the former assistants who sort of did a great job for us and has done a great job with his program and his team. And if any team deserves, they deserve it. They played great all year. We were the only team to beat them in the SEC championship game. We just couldn't finish the game tonight like we wanted to. So, I think Kirby has done a really, really good job there. I congratulate him on the win. I'm really proud of him, and I'm proud of the way he's been able to coach his team and the consistency that they've played with all year.
Again, we are going to take a couple more questions for the two student athletes. So if you'd like to ask a student athlete a question, please keep the raised hand function. And then after that, we will take questions for Coach. We'll go next to Mike Rodak.
This is for Bryce. Bryce, you had mentioned that you feel like you let the team down. Just can you elaborate maybe on why you feel that way?
We had a lot of opportunities. Moved the ball relatively well. We did some stuff well, and we didn't execute. And at the end of the day, that's on me. For us not finishing drives like we want to, us just not executing. We worked tremendously hard, and for the guys around me, they all worked super hard, and I don't feel like they deserve this. So that's something that I have to take from him, and it's just I'm just proud of my guys. Love my guys, everyone on both sides of the ball. I just wish I could have been better for them tonight.
We'll go next to Tony Sokolos.
Bryce, not to harp on those finishing drives, but what happened on some of the red zone plays in your eyes, and kind of why do you feel like you weren't able to get some of those plays in the end zone?
Yeah, just didn't execute. One reason or another, didn't execute, and ball touched my hands every play, and it's my job to put the ball into the end zone, and I wasn't able to do that tonight. So it was different things, but at the end of the day, as a leader, it's on me. So we just weren't able to execute and finish like we wanted to.
We're going to take our next question from Nick Kelly.
Question for Bryce. Based on how they pressured you last game, what changes did you see, or what kind of things did they continue doing as far as pressuring you?
Yeah, they switched some things up. We knew that we might get some different looks. Some looks, it took me a little bit just to get down. The O-line battled and fought all day, all season, and some of that stuff may look like maybe may look interior or may look like scheme, but there's a lot I have to do with that. And I think that there is just they switched up some stuff, had different tendencies, and I have to process that faster. Just make the right play for the team better than I did tonight. So it was they changed some things, and I wasn't able to execute.
We'll take our last question for the student athletes from Ken Segura.
For both players, the fumble that Georgia had in their end, how much of a momentum change and break did that feel like for you guys at that point?
Will, let's start with you, please.
It was a good shift of energy for us. It was something we needed to get us going. Overall, I feel like I'm so proud of these guys. I told them before the game and after the game, because all season long we faced so much adversity. So many people doubted us, and like the type of players that we have in the locker room and the type of coaches that we have, and for everybody to keep fighting and never give up Everybody showed tremendous effort when we was out on the field. Nobody hung their head low. It was the same with the Auburn game in this whole year. You know, everybody's been so positive. You know, it took us a while to get to playing to the Alabama standard. And, you know, I think once we reached that and people started playing in there, you know, we really started playing football. And like I said, I'm so proud of these guys. You know, we didn't get the outcome we wanted. But overall, I feel like we had a really good season. And we're just looking forward to getting better this offseason and getting ready for next season.
Bryce?
Yeah, that was a big momentum shift. The defense fought and battled, played amazing for us the whole night. You know, those are just those a good momentum shift, and we offensively just have to do a better job of capitalizing and carrying that momentum out. So at the time it felt good, but obviously it worked out the same. But to echo off what Will said, I love my guys. I'm proud to call myself a member of this team. I'm proud of, things we did this year. Obviously not the result we want, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love everyone in the locker room, and I'm just happy to be part of the team.
Bryce and Will, thanks for your time. We'll let you head back to your locker room.
I'd like to say something. Can I say something?
Absolutely.
These two guys that are sitting up here, they're not defined by one game. These guys played great for us all year. They're great competitors. They were great leaders on this team, and they contributed tremendously to the success of this team, and we would not be here without them. All right, and both of them take responsibility for the loss, but both of them contributed in a lot of ways in a positive way to giving us a chance to win and a chance to be here to have an opportunity to win. So I just want to thank them for that and let everybody know how proud I am of these two guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much. We're going to begin our Q&A portion with Coach Saban. Again, please go ahead and use the raise hand function if you have any questions. We're going to go ahead and start with Charlie Potter.
Yeah, hey, Coach. You talked about the injury to Jamison. Just how did you think some of the young guys stepped up at receiver, and how much can that help them moving into the next season with this experience?
Oh, I think it'll help them a lot. I think these kinds of experiences are invaluable in terms of, the thing that's tough about it is we played some guys tonight that didn't get to play much during the season, so they didn't have much experience going in. They had some opportunities and they made some plays, and I'm sure that'll help their confidence, and they'll grow and learn from this, and it'll be a positive experience for them and their development in the future.
We'll go next to Tony Sokolos.
Nick, you just stopped and kind of made sure that the two players heard what you said, but heading into the offseason, how confident are you that, Bryce Young and Will Anderson are going to be able to bounce back from this just based on what you've seen from them as players?
Well, they're great competitors. Great competitors always respond well to adversity. There's nobody that feels worse about losing this game than these two guys. So I know we look at things from our perspective, but internally on a team, these players put a lot of hard work in. They've made a lot of sacrifices to contribute to the team so the team have a chance to have success, to have an opportunity to be here. So there's nobody that feels worse about that than them. And there's nobody that's going to want to do more to try to get better so that they have an opportunity to have success in the future. And I think that's what great character people do. And I think this team demonstrated great character all year long in their ability to overcome a lot of tough things. And these two young men are great competitors, and they'll overcome it very well, I'm sure.
We'll go next to Michael Cunningham. Michael, do you have a question?
Yes, Coach. Coach, Georgia had the ball with 90 seconds there at the end of the first half, and you decided not to use your timeouts until there was 22 seconds. What were the factors you considered when you made that decision not to use your timeouts there?
Well, sometimes when you use your timeouts, when they have used one timeout, but then they made a first down. So what good it would have done to use your timeouts if they make a first down? They were trying to run and get out of it. I've been in situations like that before where you call timeout and they make a first down, then they go 2 minute, and you're hanging on. So that was my thinking on that. I really don't think it had much of an impact on the outcome of the game, actually. But so we were going to try to make them punt. But when it's first down, second down, if they make a big play, I think at field position, they go 2 minute, you just gave them an opportunity to score. So sometimes you got to play defense a little bit too.
We'll go next to Andrea Adelson.
Nick, I'm wondering if you know yet the severity of Jamison's injury or what exactly it is, and as a follow-up, how much that altered your game plan for the majority of the game.
All right. Well, he has a knee injury. We won't know the extent of the knee injury until we get an MRI. He actually wanted to play in the second half, and the medical staff, wouldn't let him, which I think was smart. Because he has a future as a football player. Look, this guy contributed tremendously to our team all year. He has great speed. He's a vertical threat. I think our offensive coaches did a great job of utilizing his talent this year. He's been very productive. So anytime you lose players like this, it has an impact on your team. It gives other players opportunities, and I'm not disappointed in how they responded to that, but there's no question that you win with great players. You win with great people. And he's been a great person and a great player on our team all year long. So when you take him out of the lineup, it has to have some impact.
We have 2 more questions. Our first one we'll take from Haley Sutton.
Coach, just the senior class that you had this year, particularly like Phil Mathis and Brian Robinson, I know this isn't the way they wanted to go out, but just how proud are you of those guys and what they've been able to do at the University of Alabama?
Yeah, those guys have accomplished, a tremendous amount of good things in their career at the University of Alabama, not only in how many games they've won and how productive they've been on the field, but these are fine young men who have really developed nicely from a character and attitude standpoint, and will have I think, a tremendous opportunity to be successful in the future, regardless of what they choose to do. We didn't have a lot of seniors on our team this year, but those 2 guys that you mentioned, they were great ones.
And we'll take our last question from Mike Rodak.
Specific to Ajay Hall, there's obviously a point where he wasn't playing this season, and just what happened over the last couple months that gave you confidence to put him back out in the field?
Well, he's really improved in practice in terms of gaining some confidence in what to do, how to do it. And, all players have to make an investment in their development. We have a responsibility and obligation to play the best players, but we also have a responsibility and obligation not to put players on the field who are not going to be productive because they don't know what to do or they're not confident in how to do it. And why it's important to do it that way. So that's all part of a young player's development. And then the last, all these bowl practices, starting with the SEC championship game, Ajay has started to develop confidence, and he's got a lot of ability, and he's started to develop confidence in knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, knowing why it's important to do it that way. And I think the players on the offensive side of the ball started to develop confidence in him as well. So had some opportunities tonight. He made some good plays.
Coach, thank you very much for joining us.
All right, thank you. And I'd like to thank the College Football Playoff Committee for having this event. This is a wonderful thing for college football. It's a great thing for fans. I'd also like to thank the media for the wonderful job that you do, sort of covering college football. And I think you give a lot of positive self-gratification to a lot of young men who do a lot of hard work in representing their institutions and their families. And I really appreciate, the job that you do and recognizing what they do. So thank you.
Thank you. We will now await our next set of student athletes that will be joining us shortly. Thank you very much. We are now joined by Brian Robinson Jr., Henry Toatoa, and DJ Dale. We will start with questions. Again, please use the raised hand function. We'll pause and then begin our Q&A. We'll take our first question from Michael Casagrande.
Yeah, Brian, what was it like with Jameson on the sideline after he went down? Saban was saying he wanted to go back in the game, but what was he like, and what was his demeanor like after he got hurt?
You know, Jameson, you know, he kept his head up. You know, he just made sure he kept the team motivated on the sideline. You know, with not being able to be out on the field. You know, so you know he kept positive energy over on the sideline. You know, kept guys motivated. You know, with him over on the sideline.
We'll go next to Bennett Durando.
Yeah, Brian, how important was it for you to sort of get involved in the receiving game and just for sort of the variety of guys to step up? What was that sort of an adjustment process for you as the second half went on?
You know, well, that's part of my job, you know, to be efficient in the passing game as much as the running game, you know, and with us losing a key receiver, you know, I knew I had to step up, you know, and be more efficient, you know, in my passing game as much as my run game. Also, some young receivers had to step up and make plays, you know, when their number was called. So, you know, we just had to make some adjustments in that area.
We'll go next to Nick Kelly.
Question for Henry and DJ. I mean, defensively, you guys held up pretty well against their offense for most of the game. What do you think changed late with those last few touchdowns?
I wouldn't say anything changed. We just need to do a better job of stopping the run. They didn't do really anything different, but it was just on us to stop the run.
Again, as a reminder, if you have a question for our student athletes, please go ahead and use the raised hand function. We'll take our next question from Tony Sokolos.
Yeah, for Brian. Bryce Young said that he felt like he disappointed you guys, and I just wanted to know if you could have a message back to him. What would you say to him about that?
You know, Bryce is a great player, very smart player. You know, I would just tell him, you know, stay positive, you know, keep his head up, keep working hard. You know, he can do whatever he want to do.
We'll go next to Christopher Heidel.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for sorry for the tough loss tonight. This is a question for all three of you guys. What do you guys have to work on in the offseason to get back to this game? And I know probably this game will probably be over in 2 minutes, and you guys get ready for the next season. What do you guys have to do?
Brian, we'll start with you first.
Well, guys got to come back next year, you know, with that mindset, you know, that, you know, just got to put in work throughout the whole year. You know, I have faith in these guys, you know, coming back next year. You know, I know that they'll come back and be great. You know, just got to focus on what's next, what's ahead of them.
Henry?
It's just about never losing that taste in your feeling, remembering how this feels, coming back in the off season and grinding harder than ever so that we don't feel this again.
And DJ?
I would just say the same thing we always do. We always work hard every off season, so it's like the same one. I mean, we got a sour taste in our mouth coming off a loss, but the same thing we always do. So just get back to work.
I used to not be able to see myself.
Slade Bolden and Christian Harris, thank you for joining us. We will go ahead and take questions. Again, as a reminder, please go ahead and use the raise hand function. We're going to get started with Charlie Potter. Charlie, the floor is yours.
Yeah, this is for Slade. Just kind of a two-parter. How tough was it to see Jamo go down with that injury? And then how big was it for some of the younger guys to step up at receiver when he went out?
It's tough for any of our teammates to get hurt and go down. Losing Jamo is such a big part of our offense, and he's such a great player and good teammate. It was hard, you know, but that's what we train for. That's what we do. Practice hard. Everybody's prepared to step up because you never know when you're going to get your next shot. So I feel like everybody did a good enough job, and we just couldn't make the plays and we couldn't finish tonight, and that's the story of it.
We'll take our next question from Andrea Adelson.
Slade, as a follow-up to that, just emotionally, when Jamison went down, what kind of an effect did that have on the receiver group? And then what did you do to kind of help step up and rally everyone together?
I mean, we knew we couldn't dwell on it too much. When J-Mo went down, we were like, all right, next man up. And we all kind of had to step up, not just one person. And, you know, I feel like I laid my heart out there and tried my best, and I know everybody else did. It was just one of those days.
We'll take our next question from Nick Kelly.
Slade, after the experience that these receivers had in this game, what do you think is the important thing for them to take away from this game?
Just a feeling of losing, and that you don't want to feel that way again, especially in a game like this. That's all I got.
We'll move next to Mike Rodak.
For Christian, just what maybe for the defense didn't go quite as right in the fourth quarter as maybe it did in the first three quarters?
We didn't execute, and they were making plays because we weren't executing. We weren't fitting the runs right. Wasn't doing our job. So good teams are going to capitalize on those mistakes that you make, and you can't afford to do that in those big time games.
We'll take our last question from Ken Segura.
Question for Christian. Your forced fumble, first describe the play, and second, while the review was going on, did it sort of feel like the game was kind of hanging in the balance of how that play was going to be judged?
I mean, I don't really remember. I remember we made a big play, but I remember we lost the game. That play obviously didn't have too much of an impact, so I didn't do enough personally. I feel like we probably could have done better on defense. But you just got to take it to the chin like a man.